Hi, welcome back to Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers. We're here in London with the president of ASO, Patrice Clerc. Patrice, thanks for the time.
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much. I think it's great to be here in London.
Yeah, it's a fabulous start to the tour. Now, obviously, the last tour did not have the ending that ASO would have preferred. How important is it for ASO to have a scandal-free tour this year?
Well, I think it's important for cyclists. I don't think it's that important for ASO. I think now this sport really needs to be different and make things different. I think we have suffered a lot last year, as well as in Strasbourg, as well as the conclusion of the tour. But in a certain sense, everybody I think now is conscious of the situation, and I think everybody for the sport has to make it different, and I think it will be different. Even though I'm not naive, you'll have some problems, doping problems in cycling, like you have in all other sports. But I think that a large majority of riders and teams have now decided to make this sport different.
I know in the United States everyone is following the Floyd Landis case very closely, and there's been a lot of rumors in the press room that the decision may be coming down as soon as today or tomorrow. How closely is ASO following that, and what is ASO prepared to do if Floyd is found to be innocent of doping?
Well, I think that first of all, the past does not interest me that much. I'm more focused on the future. I think the past of that sport has been damaged and severely damaged by many affairs, starting in the early 90s. And I think that we have now to focus on the future. The Floyd Landis case is now is going to be judged by the court, and then it's going to be, if I understood correctly, it's going to be appealed by both parts.
Sure.
An appeal at the CAS. So we will wait anyway. We'll wait for the final decision, and we'll not make any movement or any declaration or whatever. We'll wait for the CAS decision in any case.
And if Floyd is found to be guilty by CAS, we could probably expect to see his name removed from the record books, as we did with Bjarne Riis. It's an interesting situation with Bjarne Riis. There was a lot of speculation as to whether he was going to be allowed at the tour or not. Did ASO make a decision? Was he issued a credential? I know in the end he decided not to come.
No, well, we've said clearly right from the beginning that it's a shame and it's a pity for the Tour de France, for the history, for the book of records of what happened with Bjarne Riis in '96. Now that's past, as I said, and I'm much more interested in the current situation. And what interested me was what were the relation between Ivan Basso and Bjarne Riis when Ivan Basso admitted that he had been in the Puerto business, and I think that he made the wise decision. Because why? Because otherwise he would have come to France, and he would have come to the Tour de France with a lot of polemics around him, a lot
Sure.
of question. I don't think this would have been good for his team. I don't think it would have been good for the sport, and for sure it would have been good for Tour de France as well. And I think he has made the right decision. I respect his decision. He feels that for the sport he is better at home. And what I'm really looking for and hoping is that this Tour de France is a Tour de France which is only around sport. I don't want any more polemics. I don't want any. I really want the sport. If you like the sport, cycling sport, you have to pray for a great Tour de France with a lot of festive
Sure.
surroundings.
Now, is it, just to follow up though, is it fair to say that as a manager of the CSC team, Bjarne, if he chose to come to the tour, it's okay with ASO for him to be here?
Well, I don't think we have that's a CSC decision, and we have said clearly that we wanted the Puerto situation to be clarified, and CSC gave us insurance that they had no problem, and that Bjarne Riis had no problem with the Puerto operation. But I think he made the right decision.
The pledge that the UCI had the riders sign before this race. Everybody is calling it a UCI pledge, but at the same time, I know Christian Prudhomme said anybody who doesn't sign the pledge would not be allowed at the Tour. Can you talk about how closely the UCI and ASO work together on that document?
Unfortunately, not very close. I must say that I was quite surprised because there had been some kind of a consensus between ASO and UCI 6 weeks ago, only on doping. Everybody knows that we have quite some disagreement with USA on many respects. But on that, we were supposed to work together. And we were very surprised to see this letter and pledge issued without us being informed. Now, having said that, just before UCI made public this letter, we've written to all the teams and saying more or less the same thing. And for us, it's very important that all the riders take a personal commitment, and not only a commitment on honor, because when you have if you have no honor, you can engage your honor. So but we wanted every rider to take a commitment, and a commitment also based on a financial sanction. And I think this is very important because it shows at least that if one is not playing correctly, then after it's not a question of the world of cycling, it's a question of the individual being guilty of not having respected his commitment.
Do you think that this Tour is clear of riders who may have been involved with Puerto? I know there's a few people who were not at the race last year because of Operation Puerto who are here this year. Do you feel confident that they were not involved?
Well, I think that we have apparently, according to what we know and according to all the information we know, there are absolutely no rider participating in this year Tour de France involved in any way with Puerto. That's what we know for sure. Now, if there are information which are not so far released, then we will make the necessary step during the race.
And maybe this is more a question for the UCI, but it seems like right now the sport is very divided. There are certain teams who are wanting to push it into a new era and wanting to be without doping, and there are other teams that are maybe sort of holding on a little bit to the... would you agree with that assessment?
I think things have changed. I've always said that it's a very long and difficult fight. I've said that right in 2001, and I think we have year after year we have increased our action, and we're increased our influence, and together with some teams and some teams, those teams and those riders were a minority a few years ago. But now, year after, they become a majority. And I think that as soon as the majority of riders and teams is in favor and is fighting for an absolutely clean sport, we'll win the battle, sooner or later.
Sure. The Tour de France chief organizer, Christian Prudhomme, he really stepped into the fire last year in his first year to run the race. What sort of advice or counsel have you given to him? I know it's got to have been difficult for him.
Well, Christian is the right man for this period and for this time of the history of the event, and he is the right man because he is a straightforward man, and he hates doping, he hates scandal, he hates polemics, and he really wants a clean sport, and he really wants this event to regain 100% of its credibility, and I trust him. He will do it.
Beyond the prologue in London tomorrow, what other stages are you really looking forward to throughout the next 3 weeks?
I think it's a very interesting route this year, starting in London with all those images we will go around the world in every news, in every country, in every channel. I think you will see the peloton on Tower Bridge or the riders in front of Buckingham Palace, and I think that's good for cycling. And right after that we'll be in Belgium, and the enthusiasm of the Belgian people, the Belgian fans for cycling, so for sure it's going to be great, and very soon we'll be in the Alps. So I think this Tour de France definitely is going to be very, very interesting, very open and very interesting.
Patrice, thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci.